Hey there, and welcome to Strength and Sisterhood, the podcast where faith, friendship, and fierce encouragement come together.
We're here to share stories that will inspire and lift each other up while we grow in faith together.
No matter where you are, we're here to remind you that you are never alone. With God and a little sisterhood, we're stronger together.
So grab a cup of coffee and get ready to be encouraged and empowered.
Hello, and welcome to Strength and Sisterhood. I'm Amy.
And I'm Summer.
And we're really glad that you're here today. How are you doing today, Summer?
It's a good day.
It is a good day.
It's an exciting day today.
Today's gotten even better.
It totally has.
Because we have a guest with us today.
Yeah.
We have Ellen with us, our friend Ellen.
Aww.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Thanks for coming. I have been looking forward to this for quite a while.
Me too.
It's going to be a good episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen, I asked her a couple weeks ago, I was like, I just got this thought. I don't know why I didn't think about it before for some of our previous guest episodes. I mean, we're just going to have them back on.
Yes.
But I asked Ellen, I was like, hey, would you be willing to do a reel with us, like for Instagram? And she's like, oh, yeah. Like, very quick agreement. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So
It was fun.
we did an Instagram reel, which I don't even know if I can wait. It will probably be posted for sure.
It's a good one. I liked it. And we only did it twice.
Yeah, I mean,
She's a natural.
darn near
Experts.
professional. But I'm thankful. We have our friend Ellen. Ellen, I think you have a really interesting story, so I'm excited for our listeners to hear it today. But before we get into our conversation too long, I want to tell you what we like about you.
Oh, what?
Okay. Okay, Summer, so why don't you start out?
Okay. So there are a lot of things to like about you, but when you pop in my mind right away, I think of your bubbly personality. You're very friendly and easy to approach. Like, I don't think you're scary or
That's good.
I'm
really glad.
Yeah, you just have you have a great personality that's very lively and energetic and fun. And I also think that because we do teen group together, so you and your husband lead the teens. And so I've been at a few things with you now, and you have a wisdom that's beyond your years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very valuable for the position that you're in with our teens. And so I'm thankful for you, and
That
you're
means
wonderful.
A lot. Oh, thanks, Summer.
Mine kind of goes along the same way. It was pretty easy. Like Summer said, there are a lot of different things. So it's kind of hard sometimes to narrow it down. But there's sometimes when certain people come along, there's things that just like really stand out.
Yes.
You know? And one of the things that stands out when I think about you is you have a warmth to you. Like, I don't ever feel judged. You know, kind of like Summer said, like, you're very approachable and you're very friendly and outgoing. But I don't ever feel judged. You know, like, I feel like I can tell you anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be, like, if there's just a safety and a comfort there. And I have seen that in other generations in your family. So I've recognized that. I've seen it in your mom and I've seen it in your grandmother. And to see that trait almost just get stronger through the generations, like to me, it's endearing because I can see, like, I can see that family trait and it just passed down, and it just to see that carry on into the next generations. Like, your grandmother was the same way. Like, there was just a certain warmth, and your mom's the same. Like, I don't know. There's just a comfort there, and there's just it's a great characteristic and a great personality trait to have, I think, because we live in such a world of such quick and snap judgments. Yeah. And to have somebody that you know that you can just be yourself. Yeah. You know, you can ask Ellen, hey, let's do an Instagram reel. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just, so like Summer said, you're just fun, you're bubbly, you're fun of personality. And that, I don't know, we live in such a world that's so serious and so judgy and all these other things. And so it's just such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, you definitely bring a light to the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You lighten up a room.
Yeah.
Oh, make me blush and cry.
Yeah. So I'm very thankful that, I mean, I've known you since you were little.
Yeah.
How little are we talking?
Well, your family moved out here. You were still just a baby.
I was 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's right around this time when my family started really seriously coming to church.
Sure. Okay. Wow.
So,
you've,
I mean, I remember the pastor before,
yeah.
very short.
So you've seen toddler Ellen.
I've seen taller Ellen.
Oh, wow.
I've
Oh
seen
boy.
That's fun.
most of her siblings
Yeah.
were in my Sunday school class.
Yes.
You just don't seem old enough, Amy,
I know,
to have
right?
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
I am, though. I know, it is crazy, though. Like,
That's
we were just
insane.
to see you and your siblings, like, you're married now. You got a little one of your own.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think to myself, how am I old enough?
Time flies. It's insane.
How am I old enough to see them
Have a
starting
kid
their own
that's-
family?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, but I've had a privilege of, and I'm very thankful that you're here again. I can see you in this stage of life and
So neat.
yeah, starting your own family.
Full circle.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, with that, let's get into our conversation. Okay. So, Ellen, I just want to give a little bit of context to our listeners.
Yeah.
I was really excited to have you on the podcast because I think you have a very interesting and unique story. So just to give our listeners a little bit of context, from what I know of your life story, you were 18 months old and your parents moved from Idaho
Yep.
out to Bismarck.
Yes.
And it was your dad became the pastor
Yes.
of this church, right? A church that his father-in-law, your grandfather,
Yes.
started in the 80s. And so that had to have been an interesting take, for your dad to
I can't even imagine.
yeah. But you grew up in a church. Okay. So your dad's the pastor in a church that your grandfather started. And then when you were about 12, like early teens,
Yes.
the Lord called your family to be missionaries. And so at that age, like that's an interesting age to kind of be torn away from
Yes.
the foundations that you had
For
built.
sure. Yeah, your roots are kind of going down at
Right,
that age,
yeah.
and you're really developing like bonds with people and friends.
Yes.
And then you're kind of getting uprooted,
Yes.
and everything you know is being kind of taken away.
Right.
So it's really scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so awkward because I'm 12, 13 years old. And at least I felt kind of safe here. And
Sure.
now everything feels shaky and unstable. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to navigate this?
Yeah.
But of course,
Into the unknown.
God knows.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was hard.
Yeah.
It was very hard.
Yeah. And we'll get into more of that as we get into our conversation. But then not only did the Lord call your family to the mission field, but he called you to a unique mission field
Yes.
in Hawaii, which a lot of people would, I mean, yes, it is technically still the United States.
Right.
So it's not a foreign mission field, but still a mission field nonetheless.
Yes.
And I'm sure that came with all kinds of opinions
Oh, for sure.
and comments I'm sure that people made.
Yes.
Like, oh,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Suffering for Jesus.
right. and
Heard that a lot.
sarcasm.
Lots of sarcasm.
Yeah. But it is a completely different culture. I mean,
It is.
we live in North Dakota, landlocked North Dakota,
Very different.
and you are moving to an island.
in the middle of the ocean.
So
Yes.
culture difference, geographic difference, and then you helped your family start a church from ground up.
Yeah.
And
12
so-
people.
Oh, yeah. And now it's flourishing. It seems to just be
Yeah.
flourishing.
It's doing really good.
Not without its problems, like everything, there's growing pains with everything.
Yes.
But so that's just a little bit of context. And now you actually ended up marrying a man from this church.
Yes.
And so now you're back. You moved
Yeah.
off the island back to North Dakota.
With its balmy temperatures all year
Snow
long.
flies. And you're back in the same church that you grew up in.
Yeah.
Only now your uncle is your pastor.
I just can't get away from family, especially family and ministry.
That's funny.
Have to be a
Good
good,
luck.
little pastor's kid.
Right.
No, it is
going.
good though.
But and not only that, but your grandfather who started the church retired and
Right.
decided to move back out here.
oh yeah, full circle again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's pretty neat though.
So-
it's been a big blessing just to kind of be back around family, because when we were in Hawaii, we weren't around very
Right.
much family at all.
Yeah.
Especially the Haveman side.
Yes.
So it's been really cool to be back.
Yeah.
yeah.
So take us back to like, what was it kind of like? I mean, I don't know. We grew up in, I grew up in a Lutheran denomination. So I didn't necessarily grow up in Bible believing church.
Yeah.
But you grew up in church, and on top of that, you grew up as the pastor's kid.
Right.
So what was that kind of like, or what is it kind of like, to give a perspective of what is it like to be a pastor's kid?
Yeah. I think like when I was younger, I didn't really feel any different.
Oh,
I
sure.
felt like I had a pretty normal childhood. As I got older and maybe a little bit more sentient about like surroundings and people and influence, it was definitely pressed upon me that I needed to be a good example.
Sure.
And that even if I didn't like it, people were watching me.
Sure.
And there were some things that happened when I was like 10, 11, 12 probably, that it was like one person would be like, well, the pastor's daughter gets to do this or gets to say this or yada, yada, yada. And maybe that parent didn't necessarily agree. Not that it was like a bad thing. It was just a preference.
Sure.
And then it would be like, hey, Sarah or pastor, my kid wants to do this, but I don't prefer it. But then she's using or he's using
Sure.
whatever, your daughter as an example, what do I
Right.
do with this?
Right.
So then I didn't necessarily have to stop doing or whatever that situation was, but then I had to be a little bit more guarded.
Yeah.
So I think from then on, I felt a lot more guarded about just being open.
Sure.
And that has definitely like played a big role in my life about just kind of being a little bit more guarded.
Sure.
And that's good for some things, I think, but it's harder for others because like then opening up to people
Right.
and being like 100% you.
Yeah.
It took me a really long time to get to that spot.
Sure.
Just because I've always felt that weight. First, I'm the oldest,
Yes.
and then pastor's kid, eventually a missionary's kid.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of pressure. But everything else, like I loved living in Bismarck.
Yeah.
I remember like running around in our fields in the
Yeah.
summers, and there would be grasshoppers flying everywhere and picking alfalfa and
Sure.
hiding in the trees, pretending to be boxcar children around the fire because
that's
my
great.
dad trusted us to build a fire,
That's great.
Love
Yes.
him for that though, because he just let us play and
Be kids.
experience that. Yes, we were kids, which I feel like it's so lost now in this generation. Everyone's so glued to their phones.
Oof, yeah.
But we got our favorite games were boxcar children and playing Indians.
Sure.
We
Cute.
loved it, and we would like pick corn and put it over the fire, and it'd pop, and we'd
Yeah.
have popcorn full of ash. It's great.
That's good for you.
Yeah, summers were so much fun. Gideon would like be cutting up grasshoppers, and we'd burn them. That's probably not very nice. And
That's how you
then
learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, gardening with my dad
Sure.
in the winter, playing in the snow, going to Huff Hills.
Yeah.
Being pulled behind the four-wheeler, which it's probably not very safe. But
done that
hey,
with our
that's
kids,
how
too.
it goes,
Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
really grow up in the Midwest if you haven't been pulled behind a
Right?
four-wheeler?
Yeah. It was so fun. Little mix of danger in there.
Yeah.
It's just part of
That's
childhood.
good for 'em.
I'd like save the little voles that would come out of the snow so my dad wouldn't run them over and let them go free across the street. Yeah. So I just feel like I had a very happy, free childhood.
Yeah.
Good.
And then, I got older, and then, you become a little bit more sentient. And so that was like a little bit harder, and that's when the pressures started.
Sure.
But I feel like that's pretty natural. And I feel like a lot of pastors' kids feel like that. They feel like everyone's watching you.
Sure.
Not only like other kids, but adults.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it's like, well, you can't act like that because you're a pastor's kid. You can't say that because you're a pastor's kid. And I feel like Daniel has done so good with like being very open with the church about like, hey, my kids are just normal kids.
Yeah.
And please just respect that and don't expect them to just be perfect all the time.
Right.
Right.
So that's just a hard thing. And I think it just needs to be addressed more because like, let the kids just be kids.
Yes.
Right.
They're going to mess up. They're going to say the wrong thing.
Yes.
You know, you can't just uphold them to this standard that most
Right.
adults can
Right.
uphold.
Absolutely.
Just because
Yeah.
you're a pastor's kid doesn't mean that you're a saint.
Right.
So that's kind of hard because,
Yeah.
like it or not, it still follows me through,
Sure.
even though I'm not even with my parents anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm recognized by, you know, the last names
Sure.
that, you know, follow.
Yep.
And yeah, I still feel a little bit of pressure to be
Sure.
just a good example, which is good. That is a very good thing to uphold. Good example, good testimony. But as I've gotten older and matured a little bit more, I am just more like, well, you just got to accept me for being me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a real person.
And
I'm
we're
going
all
to make
sinners.
mistakes.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
we're
all
all
sinners.
sinners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So-
fact that people would have that expectation when you were a kid, I mean, I feel like as a pastor's kid, you're probably, the enemy is, I feel like, even more so
Absolutely.
after you and your
Yes.
family. And
Yes.
so to even have that expectation
Yeah.
just blows my mind. Like we're all just people.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like because of the families that you come from,
Yeah.
especially on one side that I'm aware of, there's a lot that are in the ministry. You know, like your
Yes.
grandfather started the church. He started multiple churches.
Yep.
Out of his kids, most of them are in the ministry.
Yes.
Either themselves pastoring a church or married to a pastor.
Yes.
Do you feel that that has been a help as far, or how do you feel about that? Do you feel like there is pressure that comes with having those names? Or do you feel like it's been a help that you can, like a haven of like, these people at least know?
I would
Maybe what it's
feel like I have always felt a sense of like upholding the family honor.
Sure.
In a sense, because I have that lineage, would you say?
Yeah.
And I know where my grandparents came from.
Right.
John and Jane. They came from, especially my grandpa, came from a really rough life, and he didn't get saved till later on in life. And, you know, he was doing all the worldly things, and he fought so hard
Yeah.
to go the other direction. Who am I to kind of blot that testimony? Like, my
Yeah.
grandpa worked so hard for where he is today and upholding the faith and pointing his family
Yeah.
in the right direction. Not saying that he never made mistakes,
Right.
because again, we're just human.
Yep.
But I never want to be like, oh, there's another pastor's kid, you know, went on their
Sure.
way, you know, whatever, just kind of forsook the path.
Yeah.
Like, I just really want my grandpa to be like, okay, she's upholding the faith,
Yeah.
you know.
You
and
have a
that's what
reverence for.
Yes, a reverence. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to have a reverence for the testimony that he put forth, because he did work really hard on that. I do feel like I have a very unique situation where my mom is one of the oldest, and she has quite a few younger siblings, Daniel being one of them. So I grew up with such good relationships with all my aunts and uncles or
Yeah.
siblings
Yeah.
that some of them feel more like older siblings to me
Sure.
than aunts and uncles.
Okay.
Which is such a blessing, because I feel like I can always go to them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm struggling with this. What should I do?
Right.
And there's not a weird, like, oh, I haven't talked to my aunt and uncle for 15 years kind of deal, which
Sure.
is pretty common.
Normal in
Because
my family.
Yeah, not everyone has that kind of relationship where
Right.
I can just text or call and they're going to
Right.
text or call me back,
Yeah.
you know, within the day.
Right.
So that's a safe haven.
Yeah.
Because I know that I can go to them and they understand, because they were all pastors' kids, and
Right.
a lot of them now are pastors' wives or pastors.
Yeah.
And it's just so nice to feel that safety.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have so many resources
Yes.
for advice and rearing children and just life stuff,
Yeah.
because they've all been there.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there's big enough age gap where they've already,
Yes.
they've
Yeah.
already kind of navigated those waters.
Right.
And they're just so transparent. Like, you know, hey, we're not perfect.
Right.
You know, we've made those mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad.
Oh, I've been
you
there,
know,
done
it's just
that.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's nice.
Comforting.
They don't put up a facade,
Sure.
which is so lovely,
Yes.
because that can be hard too. I think a lot
Yeah.
of pastors' kids or missionaries' kids feel like they almost have to do that.
You're right.
You know, and then there's like a block to having a relationship with those people.
Well, and like you
Sure.
mentioned, like with that guard, you know, you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, kind of having a guard. I can understand where then maybe that guard becomes like a wall.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And then like, well, I'm just going to put this forward.
yeah.
And it may not be the real, you know, 100% authentic,
Yes.
but it's more of just, yeah, as a guard, as a precautionary or protection measure. Yeah.
Protection,
I
yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate that is one thing I appreciate about your lineage, the family that you have is I mean your grandpa still stands up there and says, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful that he could have gone anywhere, with his like quote unquote retirement.
Yeah.
But very thankful that he decided to come over here and he comes up and visits the Sunday school classrooms.
Oh man.
Sunday mornings.
He's a hoot.
He's just popping
is.
in and popping out and
he's pretty funny.
He's lively.
Yeah, lively.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah. But so take us into then like so you had a good childhood, you have some memories of being in North Dakota. What was it like? Because that's a pretty, like we mentioned, influential time of life. And what was it like to I wasn't I was surprised, but I wasn't very surprised because your parents always kind of had that like wonder to the world.
Yes.
Like, I just want to see.
Oh yeah.
I want to see all the things. I want to taste all the food.
Yes.
I want to meet
very
all the
passionate.
people. Yes. Yeah. And so I wasn't super surprised that the Lord would call them
right
to go somewhere. But you as the kid, how did you feel, or what was that like for you as far as like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Right. Well, I should even back up a little bit too, because so my dad, I cannot remember the year, but my dad had a missions conference at the church, and that's when he felt called to the mission field at his own hosted missions conference.
Right.
So ironic. I, of course, didn't know that. And I think he did tell Daniel and my mom, but I don't know. I cannot remember what year that was. But I remember leading up to before he told me that we were moving, he all of a sudden, which I guess this is so like him that it shouldn't have raised any flags. He was like, Ellen, what countries are you interested in? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, like Greece.
Sure.
And he's like, okay, we're going to go to the library and we're going to pick up a bunch of books of countries that you like and countries I like, and we're going to read up on them. I'm like, okay. So he had me write, I was really interested in Greece at the time. And he had me write a book report about Greece.
Okay.
So actually it's really good because a lot of it has stuck with me. Like the Greek orthodoxy and all that stuff. But he was looking on the computer. I remember going into his office because I would go and hang out with him. And he'd be on the computer on Google Maps all the time. Or Google Earth.
Yeah.
And he was looking at like the Captain Cook Islands, I think the Cook Islands.
Yes.
The Cook Islands, and then some other little islands I can't even remember. But like I'm talking middle of nowhere, like hardly any white people islands. Like those type of civilizations.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what are you doing, Dad? And he's like, I'm just really interested in this. And it's like, okay. And he's like, let me show you. And we like research like the foods and the places and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, he had me just keep on reading books and watching documentaries about different countries. It's just so Dad. He still does this. It's just who he is. He's always looking to the next thing.
Yes.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But then I remember he pulled me into his office and he had my mom come and he's like, I need to tell you something. And he's like, God has called us to the mission field and we're going to move to the island of Hawaii. And I was like, what? And I think I was going to be turning 13. So I was still 12. And I was like, are you serious? And they're like, yep, that's what God wants us to do. And then it's blurred because it's so long ago.
Sure.
But then he's like, okay, you can go. And I just ran to my room and was just bawling.
Sure.
Because, 12-year-old, that's just, your life is over. There's change. And I'm good now, but change for me was so hard. Like, it's so embarrassing. I cried when we sold one of our cars one time. We have so many memories in this car. It was our Suburban.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we even got a nicer car. So I don't know what the deal was. And I was just
Did it have
sobbing.
the same memories?
Yeah, many. I was so sentimental. I still am. But, my dad's like, oh my gosh, there she goes. She's emotional again. My poor father.
Funny.
so it was just really hard. And I was downstairs. That was where my room was at. And I look in the window and Gideon's face is pressed up against the glass. Did Dad tell you? Can we talk about it? Go away, Gideon. I don't want to talk about it right now. And the poor kid had known probably for like a few days or a week before me, and he'd been holding it in. You know, he's 2 years younger than me, but he's 10, 9.
Yeah.
Like he's like shaking with excitement. He's so excited for the next adventure.
Yes.
He's thrilled. And
We're
I
going to
just
live on an island.
Yes,
Yeah.
depths of despair over here. And he wanted to share in the excitement so bad. I feel bad. But then eventually we were able to talk about it. But it was really hard.
Yeah.
And because I was really close to Micaiah and Julia. I had my people. And I didn't want to leave them. I was really close to the Bosches.
Yep.
And yeah, all my Sunday school teachers and everything. And yeah, it was that's a hard stage of life because that's when you're putting roots down. That's when you're forming these deep relationships that usually last your whole entire life.
Right.
And you're developing and everything's awkward and hard and hormones are just all over the place, especially for a girl.
Trying to figure out kind of who you are. Like you're
Yes, I had no idea.
You're kind of taking on like, you know, not so much the personality maybe of your parents, but like you're developing your own.
Exactly.
You know, you're kind of
finding yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for lack of better terms.
Yes.
Yeah. Like because, you know,
Individuality.
yeah, you're finding your
Yes.
individuality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hard.
Sure.
But then I think I got a little bit used to it. It hit me again when we started packing up the house and throwing stuff away because we obviously couldn't keep a lot of things because it all had to be put into a shipping container.
Right.
And then shipped over to, oh man, I'm going to even forget where it all went. But I think, I think we put it into a trailer and then it ended up being in a shipping container when we moved to Idaho and then it shipped all the way to Hawaii.
Right.
But obviously we just couldn't take a lot. So that was really hard because it was like throwing away childhood a little bit in a way. And then when we said goodbye to the house, that was really hard for me because that was like, this is the end of an era.
Yep.
Like we're actually moving. This is what we're doing. So
The finalization of it.
yes, it felt so final.
Yeah.
Felt like the world was ending. It wasn't, but in a
Yeah.
12-year-old's mind,
Yeah.
it was, you know.
Well, I even have a lot of memories of your house.
Yes. Oh, I still do.
And I don't drive around there. Like
Yeah.
I think I've driven past once
Okay.
since you guys have
Yeah.
moved, and it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
But it was just, I mean, there was church fellowships, there were showers there,
Oh, yeah.
girls choir. Like we were out there every week,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you know what's really weird? When I have dreams, like deep dreams,
Yeah.
like deep sleep dreams, that's where I am. I'm either
really?
in the old church building in the basement or I'm in that house.
Yeah.
Those are like the two main locations of my dreams.
Yeah.
It's so odd. Very, very weird.
Yeah. Well, we moved from Montana to North Dakota when I was 8. And there's still, like when I think of my childhood, granted, I was 8, but when I think of my childhood, it's all back
Right.
in Montana.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the childhood memories are
Yeah.
of, you know, riding bikes down those streets and going to that house and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. They're fundamental years.
Yeah. Well, it's the foundation.
Yes.
You know, that's where your foundation was laid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Okay. So your parents tell you that you're going to be missionaries to Hawaii.
Yep.
And you were kind of in limbo then. Like you pack everything up and you're kind of in limbo.
Yes.
For how long were you guys like quote unquote on deputation or?
So that would have been 2013. And then we didn't get to Hawaii till January of 2015.
Okay.
So from there, we moved to Boise, Idaho, where my dad is from. He grew up in Kuna. And we lived in Nampa, right next to my Uncle Travis and Aunt Linda.
Okay.
They had a little house, like right next there that they
Nice.
were like renting out. So they fixed that all up, and that's where we lived. There was like a main room, and then like your living room, kitchen, and then an upstairs loft, and we put 2 bunk beds up there and 2 dressers, and there was 1 closet, and we all lived in the same room, like us kids.
Yeah.
No privacy.
As a 13-year-old.
As a 13-year-old girl, it's already struggling. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And maybe this is why, like, my siblings and I kind of had like some rough patches in our relationship because there was so much like closeness.
Togetherness. Yeah.
Too much togetherness. It bonded us too. But, you know, there's pros and cons to that. And then from there, we lived there for a little bit. And then I think it was like that fall, that winter, we actually moved to Missoula because my mom was pregnant.
Right.
With Solomon, so the last kid. And she ended up having the baby in Missoula.
Okay.
And then we moved back, I want to say maybe like back to Boise in like the spring.
Okay.
I think. But I ended up going to, I knew a lot of people in Boise, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit better. I was able to go to multiple summer camps.
Oh.
Loved that. I had awesome youth leaders.
Yeah.
And I actually got enrolled in the Christian school there for science classes. Loved that.
Yeah.
I think these were all little boosts that really helped me because I felt a little bit more confident in who I was. And then I had friends.
Yeah.
But then it was really hard, like going from there to Missoula for a short period of time because I was like, oh, I just got used to this.
Right.
And the purpose of that was when we were in Boise, my dad did deputation kind of around there. So it wasn't like super far away.
Yeah.
And he would just leave and do his traveling. And he'd come back and then we would actually hit some churches with him.
Sure.
And then same in Missoula. When we moved to Missoula, where my mom is originally from, he hit churches closer to there too. And then he had to come back, obviously, for the birth of Solomon. And then we went to a couple churches and then we moved back to Boise and we were in Boise until we moved to Hawaii.
Okay. So what was that like? Like, what is it? I don't know. What is it like being on deputation or like being a visiting? I suppose you get a lot of, you get a lot of exposure of what it's like to be a visitor.
Yes.
At
and
church.
that has given me some really good perspective.
I'm
on
sure.
Visitors for sure. I am really, I think, blessed in the sense where my dad did leave us home so we could have kind of a normal childhood and do our homeschooling and have activities like Gideon and I were sports and all that. I do feel bad for those kids that have to be on the road for 2 to 3, 4 years.
Sure.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
Because the few churches that we went to as a family, man, that slideshow got so old. And then I remember sitting in the front row and then Dad would start preaching and Gideon and I would look at each other and we're like, this message again? And we'd like be quoting the message in our heads. And they were like, oh, he's going to tell that story about us. Here we go. You know.
Sure.
It was fine. I think it is, looking back, it was cool because I met a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of connections to different churches now because
Yeah.
everyone's so connected in the Christian world. Like,
Sure.
we don't realize how small it is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Right.
Everyone knows everyone.
Right.
So that was cool. And I got to go to a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
Like Colorado and Utah and a bunch of other places. It was hard in the fact that there were some churches that really do stand out in my mind where I'd get dropped off at like the teen room and no one would say hi. No one would welcome me. No one would tell me where to sit.
Sure.
Maybe the Sunday school teacher tried to be nice, but just made it extremely awkward.
Sure.
So that was hard. Or if there wasn't Sunday school, like there were times like no one would come up to us and talk to us, which there were other churches that were exactly the opposite. Like they made us food. They had us stay at their house.
Yeah.
They were super friendly. So there's just both sides of the equation. But of course, those other ones are going to stand out to you.
Yeah.
This one's more funny, but Gideon and I love to just talk about this one church. We went to visit and we get to the Sunday school room and it's just Gideon and I. And we're sitting there kind of like looking around like, maybe we should just go back to the main service. It's really weird. So we're like getting up to leave. And then the Sunday school teacher walks in and we're like, oh, and she's like, oh, you guys are the only ones here. Well, I guess I'll just teach you two. It was the most awkward thing ever. We're just sitting there like, oh my gosh, like, can we leave? Just us two and we're siblings.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know you. It was so weird. So that was awkward.
As a Sunday school teacher, I'd be like, let's just hang out.
Yeah.
I ain't going to teach no
Nope, taught
lesson.
us a whole lesson.
No.
And we had to be like interactive.
Yikes. That's a lot of
It
pressure.
was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah. Especially as visitors.
Yeah.
You know, I probably just want to sit and chit chat.
Yeah. Or just put me back in the main service, please. Because we were older.
Especially since you're teenagers, I would probably just
we were
ask
like
you.
14 and 12 at that point.
Do you guys just want to go and sit? Yeah.
Yeah. It was so weird. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
And then there was like hard times where we'd go to a church and the pastor would get up and it would be like, okay, so today we have Pastor Spencer Baker here with his family presenting to be missionaries to Big Island Baptist on the island of Hawaii. And I would be like, ooh. And then he's like, oh, I know, suffering for Jesus.
And
it's
the
like,
pastor was saying that?
yes.
Yikes.
And that happened multiple times.
Sure.
And I know my dad experienced that even more than we did.
Yeah.
Because we only went to a few churches.
Yeah.
But that was really awkward. I just remember when that would happen, I would just be like so red and so awkward. And I would just be like, can we just leave? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a fellowship. Can we just go? And I already was really shy at this point, very introverted and awkward. So that didn't help.
Yeah.
No, that's
I don't
awful.
know. There wasn't really thought put into that. Like maybe you're trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how many times we've already heard this just in conversation? Like, and there'd be people talking to us after.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you're going to Hawaii, right? Yeah. Okay. How did God call you there?
How'd you get that call? But I even just thinking of like, it's just a lack of thinking. Like you didn't take into consideration of how those words are going to land. Like,
Right.
he's a man on deputation.
Right.
You know,
Like, is no one supposed to reach the islands?
right? Well, how discouraging is that too?
Right.
Like deflating, I imagine.
Yeah.
This man is he's taking his family away from
Yeah.
what they've known, and he's obviously got a burden for people.
Right.
There's still souls
Yes, exactly.
in Tahiti,
Yes.
in Hawaii,
in the Caribbean.
Yeah. You know, and like
Yeah.
there's still souls there that Jesus died for.
Right.
And how deflating that would be, like discouraging, I imagine,
right.
to your dad or to your family to just be like, oh, sure, you lucked out. You know, like you
Right.
got the jackpot of the lottery of mission
And,
assignments.
there were people that were like, that is so neat. I've never heard of anyone going there. And you're right. Those people need Jesus too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all negative at all because
Right.
there was some really cool connections we made. And also like meeting other people on the same deputation path as us.
Sure.
We were actually on the same deputation path for a few churches with the Millars, which
cool.
was really cool. So I got to know them for a little bit.
yeah.
They're a good group of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're at camp.
I know.
And it's so
I like
cool.
them.
Full
Yeah.
circle again.
Yeah.
And he actually, one of the Millars, was my Sunday school teacher when I was in Missoula.
Oh, wow.
And he's the assistant pastor for my Uncle Josh.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just really cool. God puts those people in your lives.
Yes.
And we met a bunch of other missionaries.
Yeah.
And maybe those are lasting relationships, but maybe those are just people that God puts into your life for a season, for encouragement,
Yep.
or rebuke or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
There is some really, and I met a lot of like young people,
Yeah.
and like some of the young people I knew, then my brother and sister had connections
Sure.
to them when they were going to school in Florida. So it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a different time of life.
Yeah.
It had its challenges, but it was good too. It was good exposure.
Yeah. I think my sister was actually on deputation. I think they were in a meeting with your dad.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think they were on deputation around the same time.
Okay.
But it was
That's
just
so cool.
Yeah. For her, it was like crazy to see her former pastor, who your parents invested in us quite a bit when they were ministering here. But yeah, I just remember thinking, she's like, Pastor Baker's here. Like, that's so crazy to be at a missions conference
That's crazy.
with, the man who taught you so much, and
Yeah.
gave you a burden for missions.
Yeah.
So,
Really neat.
yeah. So then you guys, okay, so you finish up deputation. What was it then like packing up and, all right, we're going to hit the ground.
Yeah. Again, it's just
Yeah.
struggles because we had a lot of family in Boise, my grandparents and aunts and uncles there that we had really good relationships with. And that was the blessing too. Before we moved Missoula, we got to spend time with family and my grandma, which is such a blessing. I'm so glad we got that time with her. And then in Boise, more grandparents, more aunts and uncles, and just quality time
Yeah.
and cousins and stuff like that. But then I had some friendships there. Again, that was really hard to leave.
Yeah.
But I am so thankful for like the youth leaders that invested time into me there. I think God probably just showed them that I needed it.
Right.
Because I was struggling with some things then, and they just invested in me.
Yeah.
So I'm really thankful for that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard to leave that again because, again, uprooting.
Right.
But I felt like I had gained some confidence in those few years, which was good. And then I was a little bit more accepting of change. And this is funny because when I was there, I said, I don't even know if I said it out loud or in my head or whatever. I was like, I'm never moving back to North Dakota, which is ironic.
Oh, funny.
God just kind of was like, okay, Ellen.
Okay, date and time. I'm going to just mark that down right
funny there. Can't believe you just said that.
Oh, funny.
It's really funny to think now. That was like my teenage angst.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then from there, January, we landed in Hawaii and it was dark. So I didn't really get to see anything. It was. I walked off that plane. The first thing that hits you, it's humid. And the air kind of smells sweet and salty. I'm sure it's just because of like, the foliage.
Sure.
Foliage. There we go. We got it. Foliage.
I like that pronunciation though. Foliage.
The foliage.
Sounds fancy. Yeah. Oh, funny.
And the sea spray and all that because the where you land, it's just you're surrounded by lava rocks, but it's right near the ocean.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But it was like, whoa, humid because you're wearing jeans and hoodies because it was January.
Right.
And yeah, we got loaded up into a car with all our bags. It's a ton of bags.
Sure.
So we had like bags and totes, and then we had to wait quite a few weeks for that container to come.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And Dad had scouted out a place for us to live. It was an upstairs parsonage of a Nazarene church.
Right.
Okay.
So that's where we were at. And we got picked up by one of the church members, and yeah, we got there. We saw a cockroach in the kitchen. Great.
Welcome to Hawaii.
Yep. And then thank God they like grabbed us a bunch of water because the water there is not good to drink from the tap. And yeah, I remember like, wow, this water tastes so weird, but
Sure.
just interesting. Just, very humid.
Things that you wouldn't think of.
Yeah. And it was dark. So I was really interested to see what it looked like when I woke up because I'd never been.
Right.
Yeah.
My parents had been there for their quote unquote anniversary trip / scouting
Survey
out.
trip.
Yeah. Survey trip. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
And then they had been to Kauai for their honeymoon. So they were more familiar, but all of us were like, whoa, what is this?
Right.
And I woke up and I just remember looking outside and there was a big mango tree outside my window. And I think there were some avocado trees and some flowers. I know you love avocado. That would be your dream.
I think so.
Such good avocados. And they're huge.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they're not as good when they're big, but they
Yeah.
get massive. Like I'm talking bigger than my hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the mangoes there were so good.
Yummy.
They tasted kind of coconutty.
Sure.
Yeah, I miss those. But yeah, and then I just looked outside and it was so warm
Yeah.
and bright.
In January.
Yes. And just that smell was so interesting. Like I can still smell it in my brain. But yeah.
What was it like for the people? Like when you got there and you started meeting people? I mean, were you homeschooled still when you got there?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely homeschooled. And over there it was very normal to be homeschooled.
Sure.
Because there's a big population of kids that surf and, a lot of people are outdoorsy there.
Yeah.
So it was very normalized. Like, oh, you're homeschooled? Cool.
Sure.
So that was kind of nice because you went from like, you're homeschooled, you nerd, to like, oh yeah, brah, that's so cool.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. You can get to the beach sooner. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But man, I felt so awkward. First, so pale. And I was so tall
Sure.
and I just felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb.
sure.
So awkward.
Yeah.
Poor little Ellen. I just feel so bad for her. I look back at photos and I'm like, you poor little girl.
Yeah.
I have a lot of sympathy for her. I wish I could go back and just kind of pat her on the head. Like, it's going to be okay. I promise. We'll get cooler.
Yeah.
It's going to take quite a few years, but we're getting there.
I'm still trying to get there.
Yeah, same.
It's a struggle.
It is. Yeah. How was it like adjusting to the culture then? Like, I mean, I mean, it's
Yeah.
Hawaii, so I'm sure people are
Right.
mostly used to like, did you find any hesitation maybe in the people as far as like, oh, are you here as tourists or,
Yes.
you know, because I know that there's that in different areas of the
Yeah.
country even too. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're one of those. Like you're
Yes.
invading our.
Are you going to stick around?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think first it took a long time to be like, I live here. I'm not a tourist.
Yeah.
I'm here to stay.
Yep.
And then I don't think it really got cemented until later. My first job was working at a floral shop and a kava bar, which to preface, kava is a traditional drink
Okay.
from Samoa,
Okay.
and it's from the kava plant.
Okay.
And it's a root system that you have to pull up the whole entire plant. And I think it takes, don't quote me on this, I think it takes 10 years for the plant to grow and then
Wow.
mature. So it's expensive because you have to pull up the whole entire thing. And it's this huge root system, feet and feet, like just, it's long.
Yeah. Sure.
And you coil it up, dry it out, and then you make it into powder.
Okay.
And there's different grades. You know how matcha has different grades?
Yeah.
There's different grades of kava. And it's a ceremonial drink.
Oh.
So like they drink it at like weddings and stuff
Okay.
like that. And you have to, it's called lomi lomi, which is like massage it in a bag and then into water.
Oh.
And then so you massage this powder and it kind of gets very fibrous and like goopy.
Yeah.
And then the water kind of turns like a clear milky, then you keep on going until it's like you can't see through it and it looks very creamy. And then it's usually done in a big round bowl, like a wooden bowl,
Okay.
and then you serve it in halved coconut shells,
Oh.
and then people drink it.
Wow.
And it's very like peppery, clovey,
Okay.
earthy, dirt tasting. It is definitely an acquired taste. I remember the
Delicious.
first time I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. But then it's like, oh, it's just a ritual.
Sure.
So I worked there, and that is what got me into the community.
Okay.
My employer, April, was local.
Oh.
So she really and she was a Christian.
Oh, good.
So it was just a great job. So she taught me floral, she taught me kava, but then she introduced me to the community, was teaching me like pidgin and Hawaiian words. And it was like, oh, you're friends with April? Then you're my friend. Because that's kind of how you get into the community. You know so-and-so? Oh, I'm friends with so-and-so. Okay, you're going to be my friend. And then you build like a trust with them, and then you're in.
It's kind of like a village mindset.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Like people will gather to raise your children and stuff like that. And your family, your ohana, everything is like the ohana, you know?
Yeah.
And it was right across from a laundromat, and the guy that co-owned the laundromat would come over, and we had a relationship. And then the Filipino auntie that was across the way, she'd come over and talk to me, and then I'd go get like some food at the little restaurant, and we were all friends.
Yeah.
And I met all these characters. Oh my gosh, I have so many stories.
Oh, wow.
But that's how you kind of get into the culture. Like be involved in the community.
Sure.
Just be yourself, but also don't try to like whitewash things, I would say. Do you know what I mean by that? Like don't impose your culture on the culture that's already established there.
That's kind of what I want to, like, what I wonder about missionaries when they go to foreign places. Because you don't want to go, you're not trying to go there to make them American Christians.
Absolutely.
So, like, we have this idea of what it looks like here, right?
Yes.
Even myself, this is all I know is Bismarck, North Dakota, and what Christianity looks like here. But you go somewhere else. We had somebody from South Africa that came.
Yeah.
And the way he sang his songs was very different. He kind of had like a little dance to him, like he wanted to dance to the music.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that's really interesting. Like, how do you go into another country? Well, it's not a different country, obviously it's Hawaii, but go into a place with a different culture and you're starting a church. You know what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
But you're not trying to make it American Christian.
Absolutely. You're not going to bring the suit and tie mentality to church over there.
Right.
Your church is not going to flourish.
But yet we have that
Yes.
But we have that here where that's like the expectation is like, this is what
Yes.
this looks like.
And unfortunately, a lot of missions boards
Yeah.
back then, I don't know how they are now, but that's what they were like, well, you have to do this. Well, no, because our church is going
Right.
to remain empty, or it's just going to be full of white people.
Right.
And okay, cool, we reach some white people, but that's not our main goal.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
trying
That's not
to
why the
reach
Lord
the
sent you.
locals
Yeah.
or the people that live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were people that would be fellowshipping outside and have their shirts off and their swim trunks on. And then as soon as, hey, we're starting church, oh, the shirts go on and they walk in with their slippers and we worship.
I love
Yeah.
my slippers.
Yeah, the slippers. Yeah, but it's just different mentality. You can't impose your culture on them. It's not going to work. And you have to find creative ways to present the gospel without compromising the gospel.
Right.
Because the gospel is what we're trying to present to these
Yes.
people.
Right.
But we can do it in a way that is more attractive to the culture.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
cutting corners
Right.
or anything like that. We're not letting people just walk in their bikinis,
Right.
Right.
obviously.
Right.
But like, okay, yeah, you're going to wear your swim shorts or your pants or whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares? You're in church.
Right.
Thank God. I'm
Well-
so
Yeah.
glad you're here today.
Yeah, that's more of a that's how Christ did it. Like he
Yes.
sat with he met people where they were at.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
Samaritan woman, she was at the well.
Yes.
That's where he met her.
Yes.
She was going about her daily tasks. Like he
Yes.
didn't, well, come to the synagogue with me. Why?
Right.
Why would I go to you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. People covered in tattoos, nicest people ever. Doesn't matter. They all need Jesus.
Yes, for sure.
This guy's strung out on drugs. He needs Jesus.
Yep.
You
What
know?
a perspective, though, because I feel like I said, you come to America and you have like a Bible believing church, and you have these. There can be standards that aren't always necessarily said, or like you have like the fundamental, like
Like they're
dress
unspoken.
this way.
Yeah.
You got to act this way, dress this way, look this way. But I think opening up to a whole nother culture gives a different perspective of like those things don't really matter in the
Yes.
sense of like
Well, they're
Absolutely.
like Ellen said, they're not the gospel. Like you're
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like made me think when you said, not compromising the gospel.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But it's kind of, it made me just think of like as a Sunday school teacher. I mean, I teach 4 and 5-year-olds. We don't compromise the gospel,
right.
but we bring it down to their
Yeah.
understanding.
Yes.
We meet them where they're at.
Yes,
And we do it at
exactly.
their level. And
Yes.
to me, that's kind of the same mindset
Yes.
of
That's
Yeah.
good.
who cares if you are, they might be. There's been people that have come to church and they're out in the middle of in between services taking a cigarette break. Okay,
Right.
great.
Yep. At least they're in church.
Yeah.
But you took the time to come?
Yes. Amen. Yeah.
Then I'm not going to rip you a new one for not having
Right.
a tie on
Exactly.
because the Lord don't care.
yeah. yeah.
Exactly.
And I think we can even improve. I mean, I think we can improve on that.
Right.
Just
And there's a balance.
yeah,
There
It's good to
is.
have standards in
Yes.
some ways, but not when it's like, if people feel like that's what they have
Right.
to be to come into the door,
Exactly.
that's a problem.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's an aspect of I'm going to go to church. I'm going to wear my best. I'm going to look good
Yes.
for the Lord.
Yes.
Well, in Hawaii, what is their best? That's going to be the men in their khakis or their swim trunks and their aloha shirt.
Yes. Right.
And the girls in their nice tank top and
Yeah.
their nice skirt
Right.
that they bought
Yep.
especially for this. And that's
Yes.
their nice dress or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're always wearing slippers or they're not wearing shoes.
yeah.
Sure.
But that's their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like their best.
that's their best.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And we all had to, kind of compromise on the time thing. And I'm getting
Sure.
used to that. Everything over there was like, okay, church is at 10-ish. Even stores there would say we would open at 8-ish. Like there's an ish.
I love that ish.
I love the
I'm a
ish.
fan of the ish.
But not here. We don't do
Oh, no,
ishes.
No,
Well,
we don't do ishes.
Wait a minute. Amy does issues when she comes on Saturdays to record.
I do. I even texted her. It's like last night. It's like so 10ish.
Amy does issues.
I'm a fan of the ish, but
It's a cultural thing.
it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times, well, if I'm on time, I'm late. If I'm
Yep.
5 minutes early, I'm on time.
Yes.
There's also that mentality.
Right. And
of-
I'm not going to bring my ish here because everyone's like, what are you doing? And I'm not going to wear my slippers.
right.
And yeah, whatever.
I love slippers. I love slippers.
Well, in the dead of winter,
Yeah.
here
Sometimes
guys,
it's just not feasible.
I should just walk into church with no shoes on.
Hey, this is God's house. I take my shoes off when I go to other
It's
people's
respect.
houses. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just, you have to kind of meet them where they're at. And I feel like the success of that has been astronomical.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because we're not like, hey, getting on people.
Yeah.
Because that's not what, at the end of the day, that is not what's important.
Right.
Like, we're just so thankful that you came from surfing
Yes.
and,
Yes.
and sacrifice some time with your family to be with us, because those people work so hard, because it's hard to live there. It's very expensive. And that's part of the reason that my dad chose just to have that one service on Sunday mornings. He, of course, prayed about that, sought that out. But a lot of those people, both the parents have to work full-time jobs, and that's the only time they have with their kids or themselves. So, you just have to adapt, and you have to meet people where they're at and make sure, like, hey, we're going to have one main service, on Sunday, and then go spend time with your families and cultivate those relationships.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fall apart.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
I appreciate that about your dad and your parents not going in, not approaching it with a square peg or a square hole. Like, here's this round peg and we're going to try to fit it into, because expectations of so-and-so and so, like all these other external expectations, whether it be a mission board or whatever, supporting churches might have, well, I don't like how he's doing that. Well, what do you mean? Like in his prayer letter, it's like, you're only doing one service. You ought to have, to be a successful Bible believing church, you got to have Wednesday night services, and you have to have Sunday, like there's no, show me the verses in the Bible, where it says that.
Right.
But I appreciate how your parents just like did, like how they approached to that.
Yeah.
With, this is what's important. And these people do work hard, and they need to. I remember him explaining that. He's like, yeah, they work 6 days a week.
Yes.
And so on that seventh, like, you do have that different mentality of spend time with family.
Yeah. Cultivate that.
Family seems like a very big
it's huge
thing in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Which is falling apart in America. Like family is foundational.
Yep.
To keep things going.
Yes.
It's important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So how has it been? So what was it like starting that church? So you guys, was it difficult at all for your family to kind of like release themselves maybe from some of those expectations of what church ought to be?
Yeah, I guess I can't speak for my mom and dad, but I'm guessing it probably was. I know there was pressure from the missions board to a point. I don't know what all those pressures would be. But I know like at one point we almost didn't get support from the missions board because my dad wouldn't say that my mom and my sister and I would wear skirts to swim in the ocean. And my dad pretty much had to be like, well, that's like a hazard. They will drown, kind of deal. And I'm not kicking skirts. You do whatever you want. But in what they were wanting, my dad's like, I can't promise to that. And someone spoke up and said, I trust Spencer. He's not going to be letting his girls just walk away around and scantily clad.
Yes.
So I think, and then, probably the service schedule and stuff was probably hard, but I just know my dad really sought God and he sought counsel, and he really was thoughtful about how to approach this.
Yeah.
Because we started, so there's only 12 people there, and we started meeting under a little tent at an auto body shop.
Sure.
And we did one service, a week. And then we would do, I think, a Friday night Bible study at our house. Yeah. And it grew a little bit, but we were there for maybe like 2 months, and this would have been January 2015. So 2 months from then. And I just remember like people would go and dump their trash behind us, and my dad would be kind of looking at him like, oh, is this a visitor? But so that's where we started out. And then after that, we were able to get into a shopping center, Keho Shopping Center. It was like first it was like the top of the building. And then we grew and we were able to get into like one of the storefronts and convert that. It was like an old veterinarian clinic. Okay. And then we converted that into a building. So it was just glass all the way around so people could see straight in.
Right.
And then it's just one room.
Yeah.
And just chairs and the pulpit area, the piano, and then
Sure.
we still had the upstairs spaces for like classrooms and nursery, and there was a little kitchen up there. And then we were in that for about 3.5 to 4 years.
Sure.
And that we saw a lot of growth there because it was so open and it was near the ocean. It was near kind of some touristy areas. So that was kind of hard because we had a lot of tourists come through and they wouldn't stick around, obviously, or we'd have a lot of snowbirds.
Sure.
Okay.
That's another hard thing. They're only there for a few months. We did get some local people while we were there. That was good. We had a really big falling out between two families that ended in a fist fight outside of our church.
Oh boy.
It's really bad. It was terrible. That was really that was probably one of our big first hard things. And it was just like it was crazy. It was insane.
I'm
and
sure.
it was very embarrassing too.
Yeah.
Because it was in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And then, so after 3.5, 4 years, saw the growth. We started an Awana program, and we had a lot of kids doing that. So we got plugged in there. And then during this time, I started working.
Yeah.
So I was busy, and then we're doing school. And then in 2019, we got into the Makualani school, and that's what we've converted into the church building we are now.
Yeah.
And that's grown a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it ebbs and flows. There's always things that happen in churches. People come and go. But it's kind of funny because this year it was 11 years of the church, which is insane. And we sent a family to the family group chat, or I sent a photo to the family group chat of like our original people. And it was 12 people and us. And no one is still there.
Really?
But I I texted in that and I was like, isn't it interesting how God just kind of brings people into your life and then takes them out? And maybe they just needed to be in the ministry for a short period for certain reasons. Yeah. And then God cycles them out. Maybe for our betterment or maybe for their betterment, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe they just needed to go.
He just took care of it.
And he just took care of it for us. But no, it's pretty... I mean, yeah, that's kind of sad. And not all of those losses were bad. Some people just moved back to the mainland.
Sure.
Yeah.
And because they were older and stuff or got moved on. But now all the new people there, it's kind of crazy. I go back. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But it's just so neat. We have a lot of kids now. We have young families.
That's cool.
And we have people that want to be involved.
That's good.
Yeah. So it ebbs and flows. The island is hard. I feel in the way that people have a hard time committing.
Sure.
And like getting plugged in.
Sure.
And I feel like there's been seasons of people getting plugged in and then seasons where there's just no one to help and it's just my family and my uncle's family.
Right.
Sure.
But yeah, just interesting because it's just a different culture. Just a different culture and different way to reach people.
Yes.
And that's why they started the school over there to reach out to the community.
Yep.
And I think that's been a really big help because then my dad has like a little service after, or I can't remember if it's before or after, and presents the gospel because we get a lot of people that sign up from the community that's not saved.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they want to bring their kids to learn a very useful skill.
Yes. Yeah.
But that has brought people to church.
Yeah.
Same with the Awana program. The Awana program is huge. It's more than tripled its size.
Oh, wow.
It's massive. They can't accept any more kids.
That's amazing.
It's insane. Like they filled up the other building.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's really cool. People love getting their kids involved in things.
Yes.
To give mom and dad a break, for one thing, and then also like, well, this is positive. Let's put them in that, They're not going to be doing drugs.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really good.
That's a really good way to get, sometimes you can get families by getting the kids.
Yes.
We've had people that have come to church because, they came one time and they really enjoyed Sunday school. So, Dad, can we go back?
Right, VBS.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey friends, we're going to pause the conversation here today. There was just so much goodness with our friend Ellen that we decided to split into 2 parts. So be sure to come back next week for part 2 where we'll continue the conversation. We love you and we'll see you in part 2 of our friend Ellen.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and share with others. Join us over on Instagram at
Strength and Sisterhood Pod.
and leave us a comment if you liked this episode. You can also reach us at
strengthandsisterhoodpod@gmail.com.
or find us on Spotify, Amazon, Substack, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We would love to hear from you. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
See ya.